Dr. Abdulla Rasheed Ahmed, Honorable Minister of State for Education, Republic of Maldives, and dear participants, very good afternoon to you all. Greetings from Nepal Institute for International Cooperation Engagement, and welcome to the NICE webinar on opportunities and challenges in transforming education in Maldives. Neighborhood Studies is one of the major research center of NICE. In Neighborhood Studies, we look at the range of cross-cutting issues such as political developments, economic activities, cross-border activities, and foreign relations related issues, and security surfacing in its immediate neighbors, India and China, in addition to its extended neighbors such as Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and Maldives. The study focused to explore and identify emerging priorities in the neighborhood and generate evidence analysis. To talk on this very important issue, we have invited Honorable Minister of State for Education from Maldives, Dr. Abdulla Rasheed Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed need no introduction, but to continue with the tradition, let me briefly introduce him. Dr. Abdulla Rasheed Ahmed is the Minister of State of Education, Republic of Maldives. Dr. Rashid is a distinguished educationalist with 30 years of experience in the field of education. Dr. Rashid served as a principal of government school for 18 years. He is also former Vice Rector of Avid College and is currently the head of the National Institute of Education. Dr. Rashid was awarded with the title of the Best Principal of the Maldives in 2010. He is also the Global Goodwill Ambassador of International Education Advisory Council. He holds his PhD in Instructional Leadership from Asia University, Malaysia, and Masters in Educational Leadership from University of Nottingham, United Kingdom. Once again, I would like to welcome Honorable Minister to our program. We are really grateful to have him for providing us his valuable time. Honorable Minister, you will have around 20 to 30 minutes to make initial remarks, which will be followed by questions and answers. We request all our participants to share their questions in the chat box or comment below the Facebook Live. Sir, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Very good afternoon and good evening to you all. First of all, it's a great pleasure to be with you all. Thank you, NICE Nepal, for inviting me and all the other participants. It's really nice to see you all. When we talk about challenges and opportunities in transforming education system in the Maldives, as the title says, we do have challenge, we do have opportunities. At first, if we take the challenge, one of the challenges I want to highlight is the geographical setting in the Maldives. As you know, in the Maldives, we have 1,200 islands, and out of these 198 islands are inhabited islands. So our schools are scattered throughout the country. We have 212 schools in 198 islands. Therefore, managing all these schools while it is scattered, it is really a challenge. For example, if we want to conduct a professional development program, the schools are located in these various regions. Transportation is very expensive anywhere in the world. Same goes to Maldives. In the Maldives also, transportation is a challenge. So if we conduct a professional development or if we do any other thing, since schools are isolated, most of the islands, there is one school only. But in the larger cities, some cities we have 14 schools, 10 schools, 4 schools like that. But in average, each island there is one school. Therefore, transportation cost and conducting different things by bringing teachers together physically, it's one challenge. So I hope our participants do understand the first one. First one is due to geographical reason, since schools are scattered or islands are scattered throughout the country. This is the first one I want to highlight. And second challenge is we do have shortage of teachers. We do have shortage of teachers, shortage of qualified teachers. As a result, we have teachers from other countries. We have around 2,500 expatriate teachers working in the Maldives. The majority of these teachers are from India, and we have teachers from other countries as well. So getting enough qualified teachers is a challenge. And is because of this reason, some schools, we do have untrained teachers. Currently, we have about 850 untrained teachers. We want to have qualified teachers for all the students in all the schools. But due to this challenge, providing qualified teachers are a great challenge. And also, some islands, population is small. When the island population is small, definitely the school population would be small. So when island population is small, some people, they migrated to capital Malé. So you can see almost from the capital, you can see people from almost every island. So when this internal migration is there, the population of islands are becoming less. When it becomes less, it is difficult to get qualified local teachers to the small islands. Those who are able to, most of the people we can say, they like to migrate to Malé for better education. So that is another challenge. And also, it is really a challenge to get very qualified candidates for teacher training courses. Meaning that currently for the Maldivian youth, teaching profession is not very attractive. They try to do other courses. After completing A level, they prefer to do other courses. Only a limited numbers of school graduates are interested to do teacher training course. But inshallah, in future, we hope that teaching profession will be attractive for the young people and school graduates. In order to provide quality education, any country needs quality teachers. So shortage of, as I said before, shortage of qualified teachers, that is a challenge. So we have this type of challenge, and I see how we define education is a challenge, or how we see education. For the general public, the purpose of education or sending children to school is producing the result. I think it's not only Maldives, many other countries, including our neighboring countries, people give too much emphasis on exam. If people give too much emphasis on exam and content, definitely other skills will be lacking. There would be less time or less priority or less emphasis on focusing and targeting to real sense of education. As we all know, the purpose of education is not prepare for the exam or not to memorize the content, but since long back, a lot of people, they think the purpose of education is to get very good result. In the Maldives, for O level, we are following Cambridge O level, Cambridge GCE, and Cambridge IGCSE. And for A level, we are following Edexcel A level. So two international exam our students are doing. So some people, they try very hard to secure top 10 in O level, top 10 in A level. So there is a competition, but education is not a competition. If we believe education is a competition, then definitely values will not be given high priority, skills will not be given high priority. These are challenges, but in order to lead a bright and successful life, our students, they need to be provided holistic education. So providing holistic education is a challenge because of too much focus on examinations and content. So this is one of the greatest challenge that, according to my perception and my understanding. In the introduction, as Mr. Pramod mentioned, that I had been working in education sector for a long period of time. I was a teacher for 5 years, and I was a supervisor for 5 years, and I was a principal for 18 years. During my long serve this period in education, I have seen that parents, general public, teachers, school management, everybody wants to get a good name for the school based on the result. So if our focus on education is producing a good result, as I repeatedly say, that it's a wrong focus, it's a wrong direction. Then when we consider the opportunities in the Maldives, we have a lot of opportunities as well. The greatest opportunity is present government, our president has given highest priority on education, and from Maldives government budget, the highest portion of the budget also goes to education. And our president openly mentioned many times that in his government, the highest priority is given for providing quality education and training to the students and young people. So it is obviously an opportunity. And also our current education minister, Dr. Aishat Ali, she is also very committed and very hardworking. She's given her best to promote and providing quality education to all the children living in the Maldives. So it is also a great opportunity in providing quality education to every school. And another opportunity, I can say, a Maldivian community, they give high importance, high priority in education, even long before. Therefore, for the schools, it is really easy to get support from the parents. In each and every school, there is a parent-teacher association we call PTA. They are very supportive. Anything the school management request, PTA is always there helping the school, whether it is resources or collecting funds for anything or doing any school work. So parents are great asset for any school. So schools, school management and school principals find it very easy to do whatever they want to do. And so we have many opportunities and we have challenges as well. Recently, last year, our government has prepared education sector plan. So in the education sector plan, we are trying to focus the challenge just now I mentioned, minimizing the exam-oriented teaching. Our education minister, Dr. Aishat Ali, gave a lot of emphasis providing holistic education. So currently, we are preparing a vocational syllabus for grade from foundation stage, meaning that LKG to grade 12. So there is another great opportunity in the Maldives, getting quality, holistic education. Then in the sector plan, clearly determined different milestones to achieve in next 4 years time. Among South Asian countries, Maldives has highest literacy rate. So most of our parents and the young people, they are literate, so they are aware of the importance of education. And another great opportunity in the Maldives we have is we get help uh, to promote education from friendly countries and other NGOs and UN bodies. UNICEF is closely working with Maldives. During this pandemic, the help of UNICEF is highly appreciated. Their technical support, their financial support is immensely invaluable. And also WHO is there. WHO is helping. Then GP is also helping in the Maldives. So based on these different sources of technical support, financial support, Maldives has education to promote education. But we need to transform education. We need to provide education its real sense and real meaning. If we invest money on the wrong direction and the wrong purpose, definitely the result will not be as we want. Uh, I think most of the countries, this exam-oriented teaching and see education as a competition, these things are real challenge. We need to provide 21st century skills to our students. We should provide our students for tomorrow, for future, and the jobs will be different in future. So we should prepare our kids to the jobs which does not exist yet, and also they will be using the software and engineering which haven't been invented yet. Therefore, our teaching learning process should be future thinking and also very much creative. It shouldn't be just preparing the students for existing job or prepare them just as employees. We should focus our students as entrepreneurs, inventors, innovators, creators. In the Maldives, we can see these things, and from our government, very high emphasis is given on those things. Therefore, I can say there is a great opportunity in the Maldives to get quality education. Here, the quality doesn't mean only providing content. What I mean is holistic development, giving focus on students' cognitive development, spiritual development, their social development, and their emotional development, and also giving high emphasis for the skills. Currently, in the Maldives, we have lot of foreign laborers. We have a lot of foreign laborers. From Bangladesh alone, we have around 100,000 people. Maldives is the high, the most important industry in the Maldives is tourism. In this tourism industry also, like 50% of employees are from other countries. So there is an opportunity for Maldivian youth and other young people to get right education, to be employed in the resorts for the high paid jobs. So I think it's enough in introduction about the challenges and opportunities available in the Maldives. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We've got lots of questions, so let me focus to the questions. And the first question is, how has the government taken education in Maldives? How much is the government focusing on primary education? How important is primary education for Maldives?
For Maldives, both primary education and secondary education is compulsory. It is compulsory. We have achieved primary education years back. So meaning that 100% achievement we do have. And now secondary education is also compulsory. So all the students from 4 years to 16 years They are in the school, they should be in the school, and free education is provided. Books and stationeries are free, and free breakfast is also provided by a government until this pandemic arise. So it's high priority from the government, both primary and secondary, even higher secondary opportunities also there.
Let's move to the second question. What is the scope or opportunity for educationalists in Maldives in terms of job or opening educational institutions? Like, are there lots of opportunity for people who really want to invest in education sector in Maldives?
Yes, there is opportunity to invest in education sector in the Maldives. Already we have Thailand International School. I think among South Asian only Maldives we have Finland. I'm sorry, Finland. Finland International School is there, and the school placements are full. So meaning that nobody can get a placement right now. So that school is full. And we have other international schools in Malay, even in other islands. So there is great opportunity. And people are relocating in recently reclaimed island Holumale, not recently. So that is an emerging city where many schools are needed. Therefore, if there is any investor who is really invest on education, I can say there is a great opportunity in investing in the Maldives in terms of education. And also any educator who is seeking for the job, time to time Ministry of Education will call for application for quality and qualified teachers. So that opportunity is also there in the Maldives.
Okay, let's move to the third question, which is very interesting. Maldives is prone to climate change. Now there is a new challenge called COVID-19. How is the government preparing through education to meet these two major challenges that Maldives will face?
First of all, preparedness for this pandemic. Government prepared for this pandemic very well. As soon as this virus has emerged from China, from the day one onwards, our government, especially our president, headed the task force. Almost every night, president met all the relevant people and giving all the instructions. So government has taken all the proper precautions. Education sector in other sectors. So all our schools are being taken all the precautionary measures for the safety of the school staff and children. And in terms of economic and overall for everything, government has taken all the precautionary measures. Then, as you said, climate change is a problem to low-lying countries like Maldives. It is a challenge. So awareness for giving high priority on environmental protection is a must for everyone in the Maldives. So government is trying its best to make people aware, people educate the importance of loving the environment, safeguarding and protecting the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, what share of GDP does Maldives spend on education? And is it enough to spend that much? Is it enough for the country?
Human needs, human wants are unlimited. Therefore, always there will be demand. As I said before, portion of the government on education. So government is presenting and government is spending a lot on education.
The next question is, amid the rising challenges from COVID-19, the educational institutions of Maldives has been able to successfully carry out its process of imparting education through remote access. But education and training still face certain unique challenges pertaining to Maldives' scattered geography and far-flung atolls that requires a specific responses. So how are you planning to deal with such challenges and provide a sustainable strategy?
Okay, thank you. As soon as our schools closed during mid-March, our government ensured the continuity of education. All the schools in the Maldives are closed from mid-March. After school closure, uh, we found alternative ways of reaching the students and providing education. One of the first thing we did was introduce teaching through TV. One channel from TV Maldives, that's the national TV channel, is dedicated for teaching through TV, and another private channel also freely available to teach the students. So at first we introduced TV classes for grade 10, and then grade 11, grade 12, and grade 9. Gradually we introduced all the grades, and then we started from LKG to grade 12 teaching through TV. While we were doing that, the pandemic became worse, and the capital suddenly went a 100% closure. So people were not allowed to go to the TV station to record the lessons. Then we stopped few days. Then again, we came up alternative way to tackle this. We requested our teachers across the country to record and edit, do all the work at home. So our teachers and school management, the principals, they did a wonderful job. So the teachers became, they are producers, they are technicians, they are editors. They did everything at home, and they send the lessons to Malay. So we have around 500 teachers working for recording and coordinating the lessons. So our TV lessons became very famous. It is called teleclass, and daily one lesson per grade was conducted even now, except grade 9 to 12, all other grades, one lesson per day. But these two key states, 2 lessons per week. And apart from the TV lessons, we started teaching through Google Classroom. In the Maldives, all the students, they have a Google account. All the students have a Google account. All the teachers have a Google account. And students from grade 4 and above were provided a tablet. So they have a device, they have account. So teachers started teaching through Google Class. So online teaching is going on, and teaching through TV is going on. So that is how we reached, and we provided training to the teachers who are teaching through TV. They have been provided technical training and pedagogical training. Even currently, we are providing training to the teachers on online pedagogy and online assessment. But from 1st July, our schools are opened, except the schools in the capital Malé. In the capital Malé, we have opened from grade 9 to 12, but all the other islands from grade 1 to 12 schools started now. It is going on.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question is, Maldives is heavily dependent on tourism. It is the backbone of the country's economy. What is the role of education in uplifting this industry? What is the role of vocational training in Maldives?
That's really a very, very good question. I believe that education sector should take a very huge responsibility for preparing students and young people for jobs available in the resorts. But in the past, I don't believe that it has been done enough, because as I said, almost 50% of tourism sector employees are coming from other countries. Many accountants, many chefs, and other senior jobs, expatriates are work in the industry. So our education sector should really focus providing the relevant education to prepare the students for the tourism sector. It's education sector really which make people capable of shouldering the responsibilities in any sector. When it comes to Maldives, definitely we should prepare students working in the tourism sector. Much work is needed to be done. Some tourism courses are there in the university, even some colleges it is there, and the tourism study is just a subject, but the practical part should be strengthened. And as I said before, we are trying to introduce vocational education for all the students from LKG to grade 12. Currently, we are developing the curriculum for providing school Tibet.
There's one very interesting question. Like, do you think that digital means of education is holistic? If yes, what are the programs running in Maldives to provide education in the remote areas who have yet to get the basic amenities like internet or computer? Another question is like very similar to that. How far digital education has fulfilled the dreams of democracy like India?
The first part of the question, digital education, is it holistic? That depends on how we use digital media and online platform for teaching. More important thing is the kind of pedagogy teachers use, kind of teaching strategy and assessment teachers use. The online platform itself is not the total solution. Therefore, if we really want to make it holistic, providing holistic education, I can say it is a great resource if teachers are using the right pedagogy. If we use, or if teachers use right pedagogy, even holistic education can be provided. A lot of extracurricular activities can be carried out by using digital platform. Apart from just teaching the content, many things can be done. Once again, could you please repeat the second part of the question?
The second part of question is like how far digital education has fulfilled the dream of democracy.
I can say the digital education has potential to fulfill the dreams of education. Again, I can say it depends how a country is utilizing ICT, but the reality is in 21st century is considered the age of technology and ICT. If any country is utilizing ICT in maximum, they can be more successful or more competitive in other countries. If we look back to the history, those who were successful in utilizing to produce the things during the Iron Age, they were successful. When it was the Stone Age, those who were able to produce the tools from stones, they were better, more successful than others. So after the Stone Age, it was Iron Age. So those who are able to utilize iron, making things out of iron, they were more successful. Now, this is in this era, 21st century is considered as the knowledge, ICT. Therefore, we have to utilize this in maximum. Then that country or those countries can be more competitive and successful than the other countries who are not utilizing this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. There is another question. Are there religious schools or madrasas in Maldives? How many are there in total in present, and how they are being managed during COVID?
We really don't have a kind of madrasa. We all our government schools, schools except one school, we are teaching some schools, almost all schools. We have from LKG to grade 10. Other schools we have LKG to grade 12. only few schools, 4 or 5 schools, we have LKG to grade 6. Then we have one school, it is Arabic medium school. They also teach all the, only the difference is most of the subjects are taught in Arabic. Uh, Otherwise, we don't have the concept of madrasa, which other countries are practicing.
The next question is, how is Maldives engaging with external partners for uplifting the education sector, such as UN bodies, like you mentioned about UNICEF, but other like World Bank or neighboring countries like India, Sri Lanka, China, or maybe others? How are you collaborating? You give an example of Thailand and UNICEF, but are there other kind of engagement between the two countries or different organizations and Maldives?
I can say mostly Maldives is working collaboratively with UN agencies. Specifically, I should mention the great collaboration with UNICEF. UNICEF is providing a lot of technical support and financial support to Maldives. Then after the UNICEF, I can say it is DPE. Recently, we became a member of DPE. It's only last year. Now we are getting assistance from DPE, and WHO is also providing assistance. World Bank is providing assistance, and UNESCO is also providing assistance to Maldives. When it comes to neighboring countries, some neighboring countries also we have collaboration. As I said before, we have a lot of teachers from India. Therefore, Indian assistance should be highlighted. Years back, during 90s and 80s, we had a lot of Sri Lankan teachers. So when the modern education introduced in the Maldives, a lot of Sri Lankan teachers were there. Then when it becomes like 10 years before, oh, we have observed that number of Indian teachers has been increased. Now great majority of expatriate teachers are from India. Then we have some teachers from Egypt and some Arabic countries as well.
The next question is, as Maldives has achieved the first generation objective of providing universal access to basic education through rapid expansion of enrollment, what are the possible second generation challenges that Maldives will now be facing or is facing?
Uh, as I said, in some islands, the population is very small. Some schools, number of students are less. But to ensure the access to education, government should spend a lot of money. So student teacher ratio is very high in some islands. So it is only the challenge I can say. Whether number of students are very less, still there should be a principal, there should be teachers and other support staff and other resources should be provided. So as you said, we have achieved the universal goal of providing primary education long before, and now secondary education, even now higher secondary education is provided for free of charge.
Uh, the other question is like how India can contribute in the education system of Maldives. If you are like what they are doing and what more India can do, because India is an immediate neighbor, very near to Maldives. At the same time, it's a regional player. So how India can help in uplifting the education system in Maldives?
Yes, India is helping in the Maldives in many ways. Many ways India is helping, and India is very strong in digital media and ICT. I'm sure that India can help Maldives in providing more assistance in terms of the technical assistance, providing better ICT tools and digital teaching in in these ways, India can help Maldives. That will be a great help.
How do you consider the current situation in inculcating technology-induced education system in Maldives? And second is the quality of education a major policy challenge faced by Maldives at the moment?
Yes, we are using all the possibilities in providing education. So as I mentioned earlier, using TV, using Google Class, and using some are using Zoom, and all the ways and means are being utilized to provide education to the students. And quality education is a high priority. When we say quality education, I want to bring the attention of the audience. We don't mean quality education just teaching content. Quality education should be defined, the holistic development, focusing developing the children physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and emotionally. This should be called quality education. As we know, each and every human being is different. Each individual is different. Each students have different intelligence. So we have to consider the multiple intelligence students has, and different students have different interests and they have different preference. If education is provided in if it is provided, if quality education is provided, then it should be customized, it should be individualized. So providing quality education is the highest priority in this government.
And the next question is the GDP of Maldives has been significantly contracted by a good percentage due to sudden slump in tourism, which is Maldives' most lucrative industry. Do you think there is a need for a more resilient and diversified approach to restructure the tourism industry altogether?
Yes, of course, that's a very good concern and very good issue. We should not totally depend, or we should not too much depend on only one sector. This pandemic taught us a good lesson. Uh, just depending on tourism is a risk. If a country is depending on such a vulnerable industry, anytime anything may happen. We can say this type of economy is the uh, it's not sustainable. If anything happens outside, anything happens in geopolitics, if anything goes wrong, the impact will be very high. Therefore, our economy should be diversified. We should develop, uh, we should invest on agriculture, more investment on fisheries, and also poultry. Those things should be there. And also, even within the tourism industry, as you said, it should be more diversified. Medical tourism should be introduced, education tourism should be introduced, then we can get customers, we can get more customers.
Uh, Another question is like, what is there mostly in most of the South Asian countries? Like, does radicalization and violent extremism has any way impacted the education system or the approach of some of its community members towards the education of women?
To a certain extent, we can say yes, but doesn't affect much to our education system.
And what is the status of women education? Are they fairly represented, or it's same in South Asia where most of the women don't get access to education?
In Maldives, we can say there is no discrimination based on gender. There is no discrimination. Whether the child is a boy or girl, no difference. So every child has access to education. That is a priority of Ministry of Education, ensuring that students are enrolled in education. If Ministry has identified any child is not enrolled in education, it will be inquired and attended. So there is no discrimination in the Maldives in terms of giving access to education.
There's another question like for the progress of education system, what are the plans of Ministry of Education? Second is, are there international universities being called up for the upliftment of education system in Maldives?
In Ministry of Education, as I said before, new education sector plan has been made last year. Now we are following the new sector plan. In the new sector plan, high priority is given providing holistic education, and the special emphasis would be given providing vocational education. Vocational education in the means introducing and teaching skills to the students according to their age, and integrating ICT in education, providing 21st century skills to the students, inculcating values and education. If the education system is giving focus only on content and examination by ignoring skills and values, definitely the school graduates will not really be ready as the useful citizens for any community. So it is a priority of Ministry of Education to provide high quality education with overall focus on developing holistic education.
Second is, how has the education system been affected by the pandemic in Maldives, and have the newly introduced pedagogies been effective? How has the government planned to mitigate the generational gap in education system due to pandemic? I think we briefly touched on that. And there's one more question. How would you examine the national curriculum framework in the Maldives? How productive and impactful has it been?
The impact of pandemic is very high. About 91,000 students were impacted because all the schools were closed and students stayed at home about 3.5 months. So there is a huge difference teaching online and physical or face-to-face teaching. And due to the pandemic, some students are affected socially and emotionally, and definitely there would be learning loss as online teaching is limited due to the one thing we all should understand: world was not ready for such a sudden closure of the school. Nobody, no country was ready. Just suddenly it emerged. Therefore, even we try our best to provide education. There are challenges like teachers were not really trained teaching online. Online pedagogy and online assessment is different than the physical pedagogy and physical assessment. So due to this reason, again, that impacted to our students. Then your another question, whether any international university is involving. No international university is involving, but with the help of UNICEF and the GPE, we have made an emergency response plan. In that, all the important areas have been identified, how to resolve and how to mitigate the impact of pandemic. As a part of this, providing training to the teachers on online pedagogy and assessment, that would be there, and many other measures for the safety and security of the staff and the children are also being taken.
There was also a question like, how would you examine the national curriculum framework in the Maldives? How productive and impactful has it been? And second question, yes, maybe you can answer first.
Maldives national curriculum framework is a very well prepared curriculum framework which has been introduced in 2015. Curriculum framework is fine, but there are some challenges like the textbooks content is too high. Because of the high content, as you know, only shallow learning will be going on if the content is high. Therefore, we are revising the textbooks in order to make it more effective. Curriculum framework is fantastic, and our national curriculum is a competency-based curriculum. The total curriculum is based on 8 key competencies. If these 8 key competencies are developed with the skills, values, then our students will be very useful for our community and for the global community. And the vision of national curriculum is every child is prepared for life. Therefore, the curriculum is designed in a way to prepare for students for life. But the challenge is, as I said, the influence of exam-oriented teaching, too much emphasis on content, lack of emphasis on inculcating values and skills. Those things are there. But curriculum framework is fine.
The next question is like, what are the approaches practiced in elementary education learning and teaching in Maldives? Are the teachers aware about the constructivist approach or social constructivism approach?
Yes, most of our teachers are graduates. A lot of our teachers, they have done a bachelor's degree, and no teacher is qualified if they have at least a diploma. But most of our teachers are graduates, so they are very familiar with constructivism and all other theories. So teachers are trying to provide learner-centered education, but still the influence of teacher-centered education would be there. There are reasons for this. One is when content is too high, then naturally teachers will try to influence it. Then another thing is, if we are giving emphasis on exam, then again that will make teachers more teacher-centered. But generally, teachers are using teacher-centered approach, and then LKG and UKG, it is play-based approach.
There is one question like, what do we need most to transform education in Maldives? What is the dire need at the moment that you can make major transformation in Maldives education?
The major transformation in education is, the first thing is we should redefine education. What is the meaning of education? Does it mean just to prepare for the exam? So we need to have the correct definition. When everybody have a common understanding, and also the purpose of education should be redefined, and people should accept education as a way to prepare for life, Then education can be useful, education can be meaningful. And another thing is, we should minimize competition. If people believe education is a competition, definitely this competition will be a harmful competition. When children just memorize without understanding, okay, when they memorize, they can vomit it on the test paper, but this doesn't mean they are intellectually developed and their potential is developed in maximum. So if the major transformation I see is stop competition, redefine education, and provide holistic education by giving equal emphasis on all the major components of education. We need to keep a balance. I agree that content is important, but content is not as important in 19th century. But now information is our fingertip. Anywhere we can get importance. In 21st century, we should provide education, preparing students for 21st century. Then 21st century skills are very important. If we mention some elements, namely communication is very important. Communication skills, effective communication and collaboration, creativity, critical thinking. So our students should be very sharp in these 21st century skills. They should be a digital citizenship. they should be digitally literate. These things should be bring into the front line of education. So these transformation are really needed for Maldives. I believe in other countries also, these are important things to make education more meaningful and successful for the young generation.
So would you like to highlight any of the key initiative of Ministry of Education at present that is we are taking at the moment, which other South Asian countries can also learn?
One initiative I can say providing skills to the students. We currently we are developing the curriculum for providing skills. Once it is ready, students from LKG to grade 12, each week they would get a specific time to spend on skills. In each and every country or every island, there is specific skills for that particular country or skills. So these traditional skills should be taught the students, and other skills, 21st century skills or other various vocational skills should be taught. So this is one initiative providing skills. And another initiative in our present government is providing holistic education. So overall, well-rounded education should be provided in order to provide holistic education. That is another initiative. And minimizing competition in education sector is another important initiative taken by our minister.
There's one question which is like which we face around the world, like the college graduates all over the world are facing unemployment in the competitive market. Due to unemployment, they are more vulnerable to unfavorable economic conditions because they have already spent their resources pursuing higher education. What is the cause of graduates unemployed, and are Maldives going to face similar situation, and are you prepared for that?
In fact, unemployment is, I can say, not really a problem. We have a lot of job opportunities in the tourism industry. We have opportunities in construction industry. Construction industry in the Maldives is also very strong. But young people should really be prepared for this industry. Without required education, without required skills, people not be fit for the industry. If people are fit for the industry, then job opportunity is there. But unfortunately, some people are doing their higher education just sake of doing it. We have to look at the gap in the market, the skill gap. If this has been addressed, there are a lot of opportunities for the job.
Thank you, sir. There's another question which is follow of your question. Like you mentioned that education should be more holistic, skill-based, not competitive. So what are the skill development programs after school education running in Maldives to ensure sustainable employment and development?
In the Maldives, we have polytechnic. Students can do polytechnic courses free of charge. And even in the Maldives, up to first degree, it is free. Government pay for students first degree. So therefore, after either grade 10 or grade 12, if any student is interested to study in vocational education, they have opportunity. A private institution is also there. Government institution is also, or they are already ready to provide vocational education.
We have come to almost to the end of the program. We have, but still we have lots of questions. I will try to club them together so that we can wrap up in time, because we have already given us more than an hour. And so let me club them together. One is like, what is the status of ICT literacy among the teachers in Maldives, and what level is the ICT pedagogy integrated into the education system of Maldives? And second, yes,
let me answer that question. Actually, most of our teachers are very good, I can say, in ICT. Even currently, they are trying to be a Google certified educators. Some of our teachers already done certificate level 1. Others are trying Google certificate, I mean. And we have a plan Ministry of Education has a plan in collaboration with UNICEF to make every teacher working in the Maldives as Google qualified educator. Some have done, and some are currently doing their training. And each teacher has been provided a tablet, and each teacher should teach through online. Now we have opportunity to teach face-to-face in most of the, except the capital, but still, apart from the physical class, each teacher should teach through online to a certain level. So most of the teachers are familiar. Then in terms of online teaching pedagogy and assessment, still our teachers need more training. Currently, we are addressing that as well.
In last few years, gross enrollment ratio across South Asia has improved, but there is question on the quality. There's a need for improving the quality. How do you look at the situation in Maldives? Like, how important is quality control rather than just enrollment to improve the statistics?
Yes, Maldivian government is giving importance on quality as well. And no question on the access to education, as it is a basic right, basic human rights, providing education. So access to education is there in each and every island, no question in that. Then providing quality education is highest priority. In order to do that, improving teachers' quality and providing additional resources, all those things are there.
There's one other question, like, is there a difference between the multi-grade teaching promoted by Ministry of Education in Maldives and the multi-grade teaching generally found in other low-income countries? Is there any difference, or it's very similar?
When the number of students are too less, the social interaction cannot take place. Therefore, in order to provide opportunity for students to be socially interacted, multi-grade teaching is being used. I really don't know how other countries are practicing multi-grade teaching in the Maldives. In the multi-grade classes, the quality of teaching, we are trying to make it same as the mono-grade teaching.
And the last question for today is like, what will be the best modality of education in the world after COVID-19? It's not limited to Maldives, but what will be the best modality? What the countries around the world, or specifically South Asia, focus on? And how is Maldives managing online education in post-COVID-19 pandemic situation?
After the pandemic, the best modality, in my point of view, is blended learning. It is certain classes can be taken face to face, and some classes should be taken online, because there are plenty of resources to enhance the quality of education. Even teachers' workload can be minimized by using online and digital resources. If we teach everything physically, marking each and every student's book consumes a lot of teachers' time. This can be done automatically. Therefore, blended learning is very important. That makes student lesson more interesting, more informative, reduce teachers' workload, providing more opportunities for students to work collaboratively. Therefore, my suggestion is to use a blended learning mode, providing education. In the Maldives, we have already decided although we teach face-to-face, still we will be using online and digital teaching and learning to a certain limit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Honorable Minister, Dr. Abdulla Rasheed Ahmed. Thank you for a valuable time. We got to learn a lot, and I'm sure our participants also benefit from the discussion. We are really thankful for your time. We'd also like to thank our participants for their question. Thank you very much and have a nice day.